Good morning, everyone. This is Andy Kretzinger for Southeast Iowa Union.
Hey, I did the same thing.
Good morning, everyone. This is Andy Kretzinger for Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk live on the Washington YouTube channel, as well as the Fairfield, Mount Pleasant, and Washington Facebooks. We're on Facebook. We haven't been zucked. That's what they call it when you get kicked off of Facebook. Say whatever we want. I bet Zuckerberg's got this on in the background of whatever weird robot-y stuff he's doing. Should I just try and get us kicked off of Facebook?
Why not?
He stole that site from that dude. Have you ever watched The Social Network? Absolute robbery. He should be, that's right.
Absolute
good movie.
robbery.
Yeah, he should have, that one dude stole the whole thing. Those twins, the Winklevosses. Zuckerberg's just a copycat, basically.
Fake. Zuckerberg has never done anything wrong.
I wish
That might be Zuckerberg.
he would have stayed healthy and him and Musk would have thrown down on the.
Oh, yeah, they're supposed to fight, right?
Yep.
Zuckerberg, he's faking it. He knew he would
Gotta
get
be,
whooped.
man. Did you you know that story that came out where he won that judo tournament and it turned out everyone's like, oh, he definitely paid off the other two guys.
I mean, it's like when Vlad Putin scores like 10 goals in a hockey game because they let him. Zuckerberg's probably even worse. He's probably he's worse than that when it comes to that stuff. I don't know why, but just feeling like ripping on Zuckerberg today for no reason. We are here, as I said, live on Facebook. Shout out everyone on Facebook. We are powered by Fairway, as well as all the companies, ads, car places, restaurants, everyone who supports our live stream here. Not really a live stream. It is a live stream, but it's also a podcast. It's also a video show. It's also an extension of the Southeast Iowa Union. We're going to talk a little winter sports, and Hunter's going to do his best because, spoiler alert, Hunter's computer died right before showing. He's a little flustered. I think he's got his phone on his computer, possibly trying to pretend that his computer isn't dead, but it's dead.
We're golden, man.
It's dead. But you know what wasn't dead?
What wasn't dead?
Competitiveness and good cheer at Fairfield High School on Friday night, where Washington and Fairfield played a boy-girl Southeast Conference doubleheader. Hunter was there.
Yes,
Tell me what happened.
Yeah, I mean, in the girls' game, obviously, Washington, return, some key pieces, but also has a lot of new girls coming in to this season. Been playing pretty well in the early season. Obviously, Fairfield still kind of in that rebuild mode after that great team they had 2 years ago. Led this season by Savannah Hollander. She's kind of been their go-to. Always kind of a competitive game between these two, and it was the same again. Really right down to the finish, literally the final 30 seconds of this one determined the winner. Washington never led in this game until the final 37 seconds in the game. Fairfield really controlled it. It was never a big lead that Fairfield had. Only led 11-7 after the first, 19-16 at the half, and then 31-26 heading into that fourth quarter. Washington did go on to outscore Fairfield 17-9 in that fourth quarter, and in that final 30 seconds, Fairfield held a 2-point lead. Washington was able to tie it up off a steal, and then it was kind of chaos. Really, Fairfield did well for the majority of the game, controlling the ball on the press, which was, something Washington likes to do. Trying to, create steals there. Adeline Long kind of is at the front of that, gets a lot of steals from that. But, Fairfield for the most part in that game, and which is, I think, the biggest reason, why they were leading early on, they were able to handle that pressure and, get some easy buckets off the break. But, those steals came late, probably, at the, worst possible time for Fairfield. Got a couple steals. Washington took like 7 or 4 or 5, maybe 6 free throws in the game. Only hit 2 of them. Until Kendall Hendrickson hit the final 2. But Adeline Long, the game was tied at 41-41. Adeline Long got to the stripe and hit 1 of 2 to give them their first lead of the game. On the next possession, Fairfield got the ball down court, needed a bucket to take the lead. Washington got another steal, and Kendall Hendrickson knocked down a pair from the line and put them up 3. And by that time, basically time wasn't on Fairfield's side at that point, and Washington makes a pretty crazy comeback after trailing, like I said, for 99.9% of that game.
Yeah.
And they win at 43-40. So another huge win for Washington in the conference. Adam Long, 12 points. Addison Miller, new face for them there, 10 points, including 3 3-pointers there in the second period that kind of got them back into that one as Fairfield was kind of pulling away. Taylor Bartholomew, 6 points. Mason Williams, 8 boards for them there. Long also pulled down 6 boards, had 10 assists as well. And, Fairfield doesn't have the stats right now, but, huge win for the Trojan girls there.
Yeah, for the Demon girls.
I mean the Demon girls.
Yeah, that was a big one for Washington. Definitely needed to stave that off because they are a team that probably has the talent to be one of the top teams in the conference. That would have been a tough loss after they didn't play super great against Keokuk. And then Fairfield. I think Fairfield girls maybe have turned a corner here. I think I watched them turn the corner because I was at Ottumwa. They scored 4 points in the first half against Ottumwa. Came back, scored 32, I think, in the second half. I made it a 4-point game. That would have been on maybe last Tuesday night. And that was a couple days after Ottumwa had barely lost to Fort Madison, and Fort Madison had beaten Fairfield by like 35. So it really showed that it's like their stock is rising. They're kind of our riser right now. I don't know I forget the stats on that, but I know that Savannah Hollander had a ton of points. So
yeah, and she kind of did her thing in this one too. But I think it was like you had like Faith Jones knocking down shots and things like that. So. When you get those other shooters kind of going and other people attacking the rim, it kind of Savannah Hollander is going to do what she does, but
the others let it fly. Grace Lyon,
Grace Lyon had a great game too.
Let them fly.
Yep. But on the boys' side of this one, we kind of expected it to be another hard fought game of just being the Southeast Conference. Seems like every game's a pretty good one, but kind of for this one, it was a huge game for both teams, at least in the early season as it pertains to the conference standings. First quarter, exactly what I said, what we expected, 15-15 after that first quarter. But from then on out, it was pretty much all Washington. You saw them against Keokuk, kind of had a down night. Scoring the ball tonight, not so much. The Demons went on to hit 12 threes in this one. After that first quarter, they outscored Fairfield 21-9 in that second for a 36-24 lead at the half. So not too big of a lead, but from then on out, it was I guess a pretty kind of even game. I mean, in the third, Washington did put up its most points of any quarter of the night, 27 to the Fairfield 16. So Fairfield kind of figured out, got back into the scoring rhythm in that quarter, but just the Demons were kind of lights out on offense. And then in the fourth, it was 16-16. So heading into the fourth, it was 63-40 Washington, and then dead even in that fourth with the pair of 16 scored there. So Washington pulls out the 79-56 win, gets their first Southeast Conference win. Obviously, Fairfield still going to be searching for that one. In this one, Roman Roth, finally, he kind of found his rhythm. That's what Coach Stark kind of talked about after the game is, when we get, can get him going, especially from outside. He had 3 threes in this one. We're a dangerous team when we get, scoring from all 5 on the floor. Obviously, you saw, what their, I guess, their talents as well.
Yep.
Game against Keokuk. Really stroking it from outside. 19 for him, 19 for Logan McDowell. What they're gonna, what he's gonna give every night. I was talking to you about Nick Stone. The freshman comes in, knocked down 5 threes.
That's crazy.
Including
he flies around the court. Too.
Yeah, and it seems he's always open. Like he's always either in the corner, like top of the key there. Hit some big shots in that one. Hit back-to-back threes a couple times in that one. Let's see here. And then, so he had 15, Stone did. For Fairfield, Luke Hondel with 15 points to lead the Trojans. Real nice first quarter from him. He really kind of got him going, sparked him. I believe he scored about like 5 or 6 straight points there early on. Riley Perkins, 11 points, and Eli Zillman, 10 points, along with 9 boards for him. And then Axel Starr, I want to mention too, kind of came in as a name that a lot of people might not know from outside Fairfield, I guess, but he's been getting some more minutes for them. Pulled down 9 rebounds as well. Just a sophomore, so getting some new faces in there for the Trojans, but still looking for their first conference win. And Washington gets his is now 1-1. So
yep. Yeah. Oh, well, and Fairfield and Washington remind me of each other. They have at the beginning of the year because they both have a lot of newbies. They're both, kind of learning as they go, but they both have one player who got a good amount of varsity time last year. Washington with Logan McDowell and Fairfield with Riley Perkins. And I think anytime those two go against each other, it's going to come down to what the rest of the guys do. It's not like Washington. I know I was listening to it on the radio because my game got over a little earlier. They're really impressed with what Roman Roth was doing out there. There we go. Washington 1-1. That puts them just one game behind the leaders in the Southeast Conference. And I got to see a leader in the Southeast Conference on Friday night. It was Mount Pleasant versus Fort Masson. I'll start with the boys' game here. It was a crazy one. So, Mount Pleasant, Fort Masson, the last few years has kind of been one of those games where, not even the past few years, the past a lot of years, where that's one that for some reason produces a classic. I remember being there when Fort Madison almost beat Mount Pleasant when they were a state team. I remember being there when Fort Madison hit a 4-point play a few years ago to beat Mount Pleasant at the buzzer. Last Friday, I'll just say right now the final score: Mount Pleasant held off Fort Madison 52-50. And if you would have watched the first 3 quarters of this game, you'd be shocked that it was 52-50 because right off the bat, Mount Pleasant scores 12 points. Boom! It was actually 12-0. With maybe a minute and a half to go. I thought that it was going to be a shutout first quarter. Fort Madison was getting no shots, at the rim. Threes were flying off. Mount Pleasant's defense was just awesome. In the last minute and a half of the first quarter, Fort Madison scores 7 points, including a 3 right down to the buzzer. All of a sudden now it's 12-7. You're like, oh, this is kind of a close game when it was just going to be kind of a laugher there. Halftime. 29-17, so Mount Pleasant pulled away a little bit. Third quarter, Mount Pleasant got to a nice lead there. Nate Stroud had a nice dunk in the third quarter. They both scored 18. At that point, it's 47-35, so still nothing too scary for Mount Pleasant. Yep. There was a little bit of a feeling of there were 3 or 4 different times where I'm like, oh, the Panthers are really going to step on their throats here. This is when it's going to be a blowout. It seemed like every time there was that moment where it was a fast break layup or a 3 or something to really put it away. Never happened. All of a sudden you see Fort Madison start to hit outside shots. Fort Madison might be the best shooting team in the conference this year. They have a lot of good shooters.
Really?
And they showed it. They got it all the way down to 3 with about 50 seconds left. Mount Pleasant had the ball. So that means if they stop Mount Pleasant, they got the ball with a chance to tie it, send it to overtime. Peyton Higgins made a super hard contested layup to cut it to 5. Then there was a little scramble. Fort Madison eventually got a 3-pointer off right before the buzzer. I mean, right before the buzzer. They had to put more time on. It was a 0.6 of a second. So that's what cut it down to 2. And Mount Pleasant was able to throw it in without getting fouled. So there was never a time where Fort Madison had the ball with a chance to tie or win. But it was pretty scary there when the Panthers had it. They had only scored 3 points up to that point before the Higgins layup. So Mount Pleasant escapes there. Points-wise, Higgins is up with 16. Nate Stroud was 15 points. I believe he had a lot of rebounds there, but after I kind of made fun of you for your computer dying, mine is currently not responding, so I can't see the number. And we got Christian Stacy with 7, Zach Newton with 5, and then Ethan Trong and Noah Lang each had 3 there. Zach Newton, by the way, had 5 points. He had 5 rebounds, all offensive, and 3 of them were all in one possession. That was one of the. That was one of the more when Mount Pleasant was really going there. Mount Pleasant's got 2 of the biggest post players in Lang and Stroud. That's got to be so frustrating to play against. And then when the third guy comes in and gets offensive rebounds like Newton was getting, that's quite the difference.
And Zach Newton's 6'4" too.
Yeah, he's tall. He's tall. I mean, and then that shows that you're going to have 2 of the more active posts probably even when Stroud is out. Next year being a senior. So that would be devastating, I would think. So then Mount Pleasant also played last night. Yep. They went into, I'll take this and just put them on the varsity bound here. They went into Benton, and Benton was 3-1. Who did Benton played?
The boys or girls?
Benton was, the Benton boys were 3-1 going into last night.
They played. They lost to Mount Vernon.
Benton had beaten Mid Prairie, Iowa City Regina, and West Delaware.
Yep. And lost.
Mount Pleasant beat them 83-39.
Yeah.
What happened there? I need to find the box score and go through to see if did Mount Pleasant just click like unbelievably last night, or like what was the deal with that?
I know the scoring.
And you got the score. Why don't you read the scoring off? Because I don't have the scoring.
Well, I just know the top three. Christian Stacey, 25.
Yeah, he had a huge
and
game.
then Peyton Higgins, 21, and Nate Stroud, 10. So that was their top three scorers right there.
That, you know what? I'm going to tell you what. I saw that score last night. I was just like, oh, Benton must be having a down year. I did not know that they were 3-1 until I just clicked on Varsity Bound, clicked on Benton, and saw that they had beaten, Mid Prairie and Regina and West Delaware are no joke teams. Mount Pleasant was up 40-19 at halftime.
Yeah.
So that might have been maybe that the Fort Madison thing was a little wake up call or something, and they just really turned it on against Benton.
Yep.
Now turning to the girls who also played at Benton last night, they played Fort Madison. We know kind of from last year and coming into this year that Fort Madison and Keokuk are going to be pretty darn tough in girls basketball. Coach Kurt Watson and the Panthers were a little bit shorthanded. No Kinley White, who's kind of jumped into the starting lineup, and no Sharisa Warda, who's a ball handler off the bench for him because of illness and stuff like that. Not the team to be shorthanded against because Fort Madison is awesome at defense. They have been for the last few years. 38-12, Fort Madison. Not only did the Bloodhounds hold the Panthers to just 12 points, they had held them to 5 points in the first half. Only 2 field goals for Mount Pleasant. The rest of the points were on free throws. The good news out of that is Abby Carthy still kind of got her 8 points. And Lexa Fuller had 2 points and 5 rebounds, but it was quite the sight to see. Fort Madison, they just are so good at mucking it up, playing defense and having those really low-scoring games. I remember last year I covered this exact game, and it was like 10-8 at halftime or something like that. They are so good at. They're totally. Keokuk presses and gets points off the defense. Fort Madison just seems great. They press too, but they just seem great at just not allowing any points to go in the hoop. So that was a tough one for Mount Pleasant. And then here we go. Mount Pleasant coming off of a game against Fort Madison. Who do they got on Monday night? Benton, ranked number 5 in Class 3A, and on fire. Benton 71-20 over Mount Pleasant last night. Abby Carthy with 7 points and 4 rebounds. Juliana Burns had 4 points. Maya Starr hit a 3 for 3 points there, but pretty tough little schedule for the Panther girls right now, especially talk about the Fairfield Mount Pleasant, or the Fairfield and Washington boys being young and inexperienced. Mount Pleasant graduated about 95% of their points from the last couple of years. So I've been impressed with some of the younger kids coming up. They got some good sophomores. Shout out Abby Carthy. Abby Carthy called me out to my wife the other day in class because I was reading last week or 2 weeks ago. I was reading through when Mount Pleasant played Pella, and I guess that Pella had like 100 threes against him or something like that. They just hit threes, and I didn't know that until I was clicking it. I was like, yeah, Pella hit a lot of threes. And I clicked it, and it was like 13, and so I guess I giggled when I saw how many threes that Pella hit. So apologize for my giggling and my general happiness. Also, that was my migraine day, though, so I take back that apology because that's a good excuse for not being...
You weren't feeling it.
I wasn't all there. Mount Pleasant plays at Washington on Friday, and Fairfield plays...
Keokuk, I think. Or Burlington.
Keokuk. They play Keokuk at home. Now I remember. Then Burlington, Fort Madison go at it. So there we go for our Southeast Conference basketball action. We'll be back with a little small school craziness. I went to a pretty crazy one myself, and we will talk about that in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
I am Melissa Westfall with Homegirl Realty. Heather and Charlotte and I have worked together for many years, and we have always had a vision to have a business together.
I'm Charlotte Howard, and the good news is we bring a very high level of experience. We have a combined 80 plus years of experience in this real estate marketplace. I'm Heather Merrick.
Well, you can watch it at a couple places, Andy. You can find like my voice right there. You can find us on YouTube at Washington Live's YouTube, also Washington Live's Facebook. That's where you can also find us on Facebook as well at Mount Pleasant Live and Fairfield Live on Facebook, and we're also on Spotify at Washington Live on Spotify. So a couple different social media platforms you can find us on. I guess Spotify's not really social media, but you get it.
I actually think we're off Spotify now. We are on Twitter at Union Sports Page because I will always go, if you go to at Union Sports Page, which you should be going to for scores, news, all that other stuff, we will always pin
we're off Spotify.
The most recent Southeast Union Sports Talk, so you can just watch it there. Quick celebrity birthdays. One of my favorites, my idol growing up, Bob Barker, who unfortunately passed away last year. He would have been 100 today. Quick moment of silence for Bob Barker. Love him. Another dead celebrity, Frank Sinatra, has a birthday today. He died in 1998. He would be 108 today. Couple legends, Bob Barker and Frank Sinatra.
God bless.
God bless. And then tomorrow, I don't know about me, Hunter, but Taylor Swift is turning 33.
Oh, no.
That's right. I'm 33, so I know what it's like. When you hit 33, everything starts hurting. Your back starts hurting. You just wake up. You have dark circles under your eyes.
Things change.
So things are going to change for Taylor Swift. So we'll see if Travis Kelce's shallow or not, because once she turns
he's older. He's older than her, though.
NFL players don't care. They marry younger all the time. So actually, that's going to be my official Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk prediction of the year. By the time Taylor Swift turns 34, I will predict they will be broken up.
Are we?
It's too stressful being 33.
I don't know. I don't think we're on Spotify anymore.
What? No, we're not on Spotify anymore.
Oh, that's great.
We're
not on Spotify anymore.
32-year-old Taylor Swift, but not for long. She's turning 33 tomorrow.
I'll stop saying Spotify now.
Yeah, we got stuff. We've been saying Spotify for like months where it's been off. But Spotify, who does Spotify? It's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. X. Come on. Do you think that the guy from Spotify, you think the guy who runs Spotify is going to step into the ring? What?
I use Spotify.
You think he's going to step in the ring against Zuckerberg and Elon Musk?
But I use Spotify.
He'd get knocked out. Trust me. I don't know who he is. He'd get knocked out. We're going to talk a little basketball. Oh, I got this basketball. I got a little basketball.
I got some basketball too.
We're going to small school basketball. Guess what? I was at a small school basketball doubleheader on Saturday, a special Saturday in the Super Conference North, Southeast Iowa Union Super Conference North. On the boys' side, the Hillcrest Academy Ravens traveled to win from Mount Union with the North Division lead on the line. 2 undefeated teams in the North, 2 undefeated teams in Iowa, because Hillcrest hadn't lost and Winfield had not lost except to this really good Illinois team.
Yep.
Hillcrest led 11-8 thanks to a couple of 3-pointers early from Seth Hours, but second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, all Winfield Mount Union, Hunter.
Yeah.
They jumped out to a 26-15 halftime lead, 47-25 after 3, 63-35 final. Cam Buffington with 22 points for the Wolves, including a sick dunk that I stinkingly mixed a picture of.
the worst.
I was literally talking to someone and goofing around, and I looked up. It was such a photogenic dunk. Not that we don't have other pictures of dunks that we've taken, especially with him. But Abram Edwards, 14 points, 13 rebounds. Abram going to the Army-Navy game. Going to Army for football next year. The Army-Navy game was happening. It was ending as the Wolves were coming out on the court. So I was wondering to myself whether or not they were paying attention to that because of that. Maybe it'd be a distraction. They were. They were paying attention to the locker room, but it clearly wasn't too much of a distraction. Carter Lloyd with 11 points right there. For Hillcrest, Seth Hours.
He can really struggle from deep.
Oh, he can. I mean, Winfield Mount Union coach Clay Edwards basically said he's the best shooter that there is around. After, they were happy. He scored 15 points. They're like, that's fine. 15's fine. Mason Bender, 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's going to fill up the stat sheet a lot this year. Rowan Miller had 6 points for the Ravens. So, Winfield Mount Union currently atop the North. They've beaten Waco. They've beaten Hillcrest. They have beaten Pekin, which means Winfield Mount Union has a little bit of a stranglehold early on the Super North, because those are kind of the 3 teams that I would think would be the teams that have a shot against.
They're just so physical, man. Like
they're
physical.
big.
They're I don't know. They're gonna be a hard team to beat.
Yeah. One realization that I had the other night on Saturday was a couple of years ago. It was like, Abram and Cam are so good inside. You got to figure out a way to press them or run up and down on them or something or steal the ball from the guards. But now, first off, those 2 are better. But the guards are so good now that there isn't that anymore. They don't turn the ball over, and the guards can shoot. So it's they're stacked. I mean, Winfield's stacked. That's pretty much what it is. Now in the girls' basketball game, little fun here. It was matchup number 3 between Hillcrest Academy head coach Mitchell Dre and his wife, assistant coach Emily Dre,
used to be,
formerly Emily Hamill.
Yeah, they used to be assistants together too.
Yep. She's the assistant coach for Winfield. I covered them both at Iowa Wesleyan University, and
Rest in peace.
Winfield, Mount Union with Mindy McGrate, head coach. After going to state last year, they had a little bit of a struggle coming into this season. And, they lost 4 in a row. Hillcrest Winfield was right down to the wire, 43-42 for the Winfield Mount Union Wolves. And Madison Kellogg, who has kind of jumped onto the scene for the Winfield Mount Union girls basketball team, sophomore. She's been scoring like 17 points a game.
Out of her mind.
Completely exploded off the charts. That's rare that you have that where you pretty much graduate everyone and all of a sudden someone shows up and is scoring.
Yep.
She scored 23 points, including the game-tying putback layup with 40 seconds left. And then she got fouled. It was a tough foul. Coach Dre, you could see him after this happened. He was biting his shirt a little bit in frustration. She had the ball with like 5 or 6 seconds left, and she got off. She just got fouled. It wasn't on a shot, but it was over the 5 limit.
Yeah.
Misses the first one, makes the second one. Hillcrest somehow with 5 seconds left was able to get the ball down court, get a shot off that almost went in, rebound, get a layup in that rolled off the rim. 2 really good looks at it. And I'm pretty proud of the picture of Winfield's Pacey Slee going nuts that we have in the Southeast Iowa Union. I assume Winfield Wayland Beacon after that second shot rolled off. But Kellogg, 23 points and 10 rebounds. Pacey Slee with 8 points. Lily Freeman with 6 for Winfield Mount Union. Claire Witherall had a great game for Hillcrest Academy. She hit 4 threes and ended up with 18 points. Her and Malia Yoder are pretty darn dangerous outside. I think that Hillcrest is the team that's going to learn to win this year.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be the super dangerous team. That's buy the stock now because you can tell they're good enough to battle and you can see the talent, but they haven't turn into too many wins yet. That will happen later
Because
in
they
the year.
played a close one against Highland too early in the season.
Yes, they did. And Highland's one of the best teams in the North. Malia Yoder, 15 points. Neva Helmy with 6. Delaney Schad, she only had 4 points, but she had 12 rebounds, 5 steals.
Seen that a lot from her.
Doing everything. All Union softball player for us, Delaney Schad. And it was a fun little Hillcrest Winfield battle. And you've got a little more, girls basketball that went on?
Yes, sir. So we had just 3 teams win late last week. Columbus 61-43 over Waco. Columbus been playing really well here in the early season, 5-1 on the season. Waco 2-3 after this loss. Columbus led 14-10 after one, 27-17 at the half, and 42-30 after the third on their way to the victory. Lily Coyle scored a team high 19 points and along with 9 assists for Columbus. Ariana Vergara ended with 17 points, and Araceli Garza had 9 with 8 boards. Emma Wagner 17 for Waco, and then Brenna Graber and Hallie Shellman both had 5. Highland keeps it rolling. Just one loss, 6-1 on the season, 36-11 over 2-4 Pekin. Really a low scoring bout in this one. Highland never only hit double digits once in any of the 4 quarters, and they came in the fourth. Outscored the Panthers 9-4, 8-5, 8-2, and 11-0 in the fourth there to cap off that win. Sarah Burden finished with 12 points, 13 rebounds. Caitlin Thom involved with 9 points, and Kylie Allen had 5. Abby Geis led Pekin, or Geese. Is it Geis or Geesey? I don't know.
No, Geesey is Gies.
Yeah, I think it's Geis.
Yeah.
Led Pekin with 5 points and 14 rebounds. Chloe Glosser ended with 3 points, and Renee Eubanks 2 points and 13 boards. Mid Prairie, the other winner, 4-2 now, 57 over. Or 57-53 over 0-5 West Branch. The Golden Hawks held a 3-point lead at the half, extended to 10 after a 23-16 third quarter, made it 47-37. West Branch went on to outscore the Golden Hawks 16-10 in the fourth, but they're able to hang on there. Brooklyn Schneider with 17 points. For Mid-Prairie, Callie Huber, 12 points, 13 boards. Morgan Bender, 11 points. And the rest of the games are losses for our area teams here. Holy Trinity, who's 5-0, 68-24 over 0-6 New London. Tough one for Cardinal here, taking on number 2 Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont state tournament team last year. Returned a ton of talent, 6-0, 62-22 over 2-3 Cardinal. And then we also have Central Lee, who's 2-3, 45-34 over 1-4 Van Buren. Van Buren was led by Marley Mertens with 10 points and 8 rebounds. So Sophia Durock with 7 points and Ivy Davidson 6 there. So that's our girls roundup.
I got the boys roundup here, which you wrote, and I'm scrolling through. Not a lot of close ones in the boys roundup this week. A lot of teams went off here. A lot of 75 and higher scores, so I'm just going to run through it. Waco 77, Columbus 33, Hunter Hughes 39 points. I had to look this up for myself to see how many threes he hit. He hit 5 threes, 39 points for Hughes. He has had a few
coming
of those games
off
in his
being
career.
sick too.
Oh yeah, he was sick last week. That's right.
Last
Well, I always think after you're sick,
flu game, man.
Flu game, the post flu game, the after you're sick and then you get off of it.
Yeah.
That first day, I feel like I can score 39 points.
You're like, I feel amazing.
Yeah, but when my wife and I were just dating, I got a migraine on the way home. She was driving me from Hannibal, Missouri to Sheridan, Iowa, 3 hours, which took about 6 hours because I had to get out and get sick all the time. And I remember that I had like that moment of not being sick as I was walking into my house, and my mom made tacos, and I had like 4 tacos afterwards. It was a very, very shocking experience. The now wife had to kind of reevaluate life for a second there. I wish I was that young where I just bounced back, but not anymore, as you guys learned last week. Pekin 75-14 over Highlands. Sven Dahlstrom with 18 points. Will Adam with 13. And so did Jaden Walver there. So Pekin 75 points. Put up a little struggle for Highland early in the season. Keota keeps rolling in the sickle. 77-28 over Tri-County. Sawyer Stout with 20. Evan Veneto with 16. Tanner Waterhouse with 11. Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont comes into Cardinal, beats them 80-39. I don't know if that was at Cardinal. It doesn't say on your thing. It didn't have to, but I just made it up that it was at Cardinal.
Pretty sure
it could have been at Eddyville.
It wasn't.
Was it? Wasn't. All right, there we go. Eddyville, really good this year. I know I've followed the Eddyville boys a little bit. They're super, super good. 80-39 over Cardinal. Tough one. Central Lee improved this year, 82-55 over Van Buren County. I thought that would be a little closer there. And then on Saturday, Eddyville, Blakersburg, Fremont.
Yep.
Well, when you have 3 towns like Eddyville plus Blakersburg
plus Fremont.
how are you not going to score another 79 points? This is against Pekin.
Yep.
Same Pekin team that just dropped 77 one day earlier, 79-42. So watch out for Eddyville, Blakersburg, Fremont. Casey Davis with 13 to lead Pekin in that one. Holy Trinity and New London, Southeast Iowa Southeast Iowa Super Conference. Southeast Iowa Super Conference, South Division, 74-44. Holy Trinity. Brennan Ritchie with 11. Brigham Porter with 10 points and 9 rebounds. Memphis Watson tallied 9 points. The second Watson reference on this show. Is Kurt Watson his grandpa, uncle?
Grandpa, I think.
Grandpa. There we go. And West Branch over Mid Prairie, 83-46. Bryce Henry scored 10 for the Golden Hawks. But there we go. Our closest game in that roundup, 30 was 27 points. The Van Buren County Central League game.
Yep.
Wow.
Some wide margins there.
There's some wide margins there. So it was one of those weird weekends. We usually have some close games than that, but whatever. You know what is actually the widest margin, though?
What's that?
The margin of happiness I get from visiting our sponsors versus all other companies in the world that don't sponsor us. So we need you pay attention, get your pen and paper out, and write down all these commercials that we know who to go give business to. Alex has his finger on the finger.
Ready.
I just want to keep it going. We're going to commercial right now. 3 minutes.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
At 5 Star Community Credit Union, we want to help you lead a better life. We offer competitive rates and convenient appointment times for all kinds of loans: auto, recreational vehicles, home equity line of credit, holiday, and personal loans. We make it easy to build your credit and enjoy the good things in life.
We invite you to join 5 Star Community Credit Union. We are community-minded and member-focused. Come visit our locations in West Burlington and Mount Pleasant or online at 5starcu.org. Federally insured through the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
At Brown Shoe Fit, we pride ourselves on traditional sit and fit service that's been serving the Mount Pleasant area since 1952. At Brown's, we have shoes for the whole family. From kids to adults, we carry the finest footwear for every occasion. Whether you're looking for something for work, casual wear, or exercise, we've got you covered. And don't forget about our selection of safety toe footwear for both men and women. Come visit us 6 days a week and experience the best in traditional sit and fit service. Brown Shoe Fit, where quality and tradition meet.
ready to light up your holidays in Southeast Iowa like never before. The Mount Pleasant Festival Lights is back brighter than ever. Starting November 22nd and running every night through New Year's Eve, the Festival Lights is the ultimate drive-through holiday experience. But here's the real excitement. For 2 nights only on December 18th and 19th from 5:30 to 8 p.m., you can ditch your car and walk and run through the lights. With over 150 dazzling light displays, this is a perfect way to kick off your holiday season. For dates, times, directions, and ticket information, visit oldthreshers.com.
Hello. Welcome back to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live. Got a note from our producer at the break. It said that we angered some of the Swifties last commercial break. They want us to apologize so it doesn't hurt our sponsors. This show will never apologize. So all the people that were emailing in, calling during the break, said you shouldn't have made fun of Taylor Swift for being 33 because you're 33, and I said that they would break up, her and Travis Kelce. Probably would help the Chiefs. We don't apologize. This is a no-nonsense, no apology podcast. Do you agree with that, Hunter?
The no nonsense part, yeah. The no nonsense part, yeah.
You don't agree with the no apology?
Oh, apology too, yeah.
Oh.
Just all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
No, all that kind of stuff.
We just roll with it, man.
We just roll with it. So yeah, off the hook after my Taylor Swift comments last thing. We're powered by Fairway Food Stores, and we are going to talk a little wrestling and bowling. Hunter's got a little wrestling for us. There's so much wrestling that happens during the weekend.
Yeah.
What happened?
So I've just got. There'll be more girls wrestling specifically from me in the paper online here in a couple hours here.
You should also tell us who won Fairfield, Washington, because I forgot to tell you to do that. But
Yep. That's what I'm getting into now.
You do it.
But I saw Washington take on Fairfield in Washington last week. Demons were winners in this one, 42-28. A couple real nice matches that ended up kind of being the difference. We'll just run through the winners here, though. For Washington, Blaine Reese at 190, Joseph Schreiber at 106, Nate Edmonds 120, Caden Greiner 126, Aaron Boone 132, and Chase Greiner at 165 were all winners by fall for Washington. The other two victories for the Demons came from Lane Schrock at 150 and Jude Carter at 138. Both had some great matches there. Real back and forth battles. Schrock just got by Fairfield's Zandrick Allison by decision 8-6. Came down to the wire. Allison had a chance. Needed a takedown to send it to the extra period there. I couldn't find it in the final seconds. I think both were kind of gassed after going the distance in that one. And then the other match, Jude Carter edged the Trojans Julian Pumphrey after 3 full rounds of action by 5-1 decision. Just a real, it ended 5-1, but was still, much closer than that in the end. Real nice. Those are probably, two of the best battles of the night. Mm-hmm. For Fairfield, Dane Burkhart at 175, Logan Johnson at 285, and Aiden Westerkamp at 144 were all winners by fall. Dre Smithberg picked up a major decision win, a 10-2 to be specific, and then Kale McCabe grabbed 6 points after a forfeit at 113. So yeah, Fairfield still looking for its first Southeast Conference dual win there. Washington picks up its first with that 42-28 victory over the Trojans. So
yeah,
plenty of wrestling though.
For sure. I'll chime in just so we can get Thursday out of the way because I was at Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant had a try with Keokuk of Iowa and Illini West of Illinois, and it's not easy to beat 2 states in one night, but that's what the Panthers did on Thursday. 49-24 over Keokuk, moving up in the Southeast Conference there with a league win. And 66-6 over Illini West. Franklin Tusingnot had a couple of wins at the heavyweight. Charlie Bonenkamp had a couple wins, including a pin. Jared Dorothy had a nice pin. We have a picture of him celebrating there in the newspaper. The Southeast Iowa Union. Mount Pleasant's got a pretty good lineup here. They've got a full lineup for boys, which is huge in this day and age in conference meets. So a very successful day for the Panthers. Maybe stock rising for the Panther wrestling team as well. And then obviously a dominant performance in the border war against Illini West. So a couple of wins there, a win for Washington, a win for Mount Pleasant, and Southeast Conference wrestling action. Now we'll go to the weekend with Hunter Moeller.
I don't have any weekend action.
Oh, what were you going to do?
Oh, I was just talking about the story today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You haven't even done that story today.
Nope.
Have you? Oh, well.
Nope.
I guess it's my turn again. Because we have a little big school wrestling action that happened this weekend.
I did have it pulled up, but my computer's gone. So I can't.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry for throwing it over to you when you didn't have anything to say.
You're good.
We
You're
had
good.
Fairfield, Mount Pleasant, and Washington all went to three different places for some wrestling. Alex told me to make sure I'm not sitting too far up because I'm out of the camera, and then I just realized I was doing it. Fairfield went to Knoxville, home of the Knoxville Nationals sprint car race, and they went 1 and 2 in the Knoxville duels. The Trojans beat Nevada, lost to Knoxville and North Polk. Against Nevada, Carter Moore with a win, Dre Smithberg with a win, Logan Johnson with a win. Those are all pinfall wins. Those are the heavier weights. It looks like Fairfield's pretty darn strong on the heavier weights this year. Julian Pumphrey had a pin at 144, Calvin McLean a pin at 165, and Dane the Brain Burkhart with a pin at 175 pounds. I haven't used that nickname since baseball season. Mount Pleasant went to the Grinnell duels. Tough group there. Lost by 51-31 to Webster City. 75-0 against Bondurant Ferrar, who is a heck of a wrestling school. They killed everybody there. And Grinnell beat them 53-30. Washington Demons went to the Mount Vernon Invitational. They got 607 points. There's 16 teams there, so 6 is pretty darn good for the Demons there. Had 3 second placers in that one. Caden Greiner gets second at 126, Aaron Boone at 132, and Chase Greiner at 157. They have a pretty darn strong group. Those are 3 kids who all were pretty darn good last year. They got a lot of returners that are good. Sigourney Keota gets 16th in that Mount Vernon Invitational. Brady Clark gets 5th at 130. I think Sigourney Keota had 3 wrestlers at Mount Vernon. So wrestling all over this world.
Yeah.
All over.
And it's not going to stop. We've got a lot of good wrestlers once again. You mentioned Washington's got some great wrestlers. Fairfield.
Yeah.
A lot of returning state qualifiers, too.
Yeah, I like that. It usually gives us a pretty good hint that we're going to have some state qualifiers when it comes down to it. By the way, a little bowling. I went to the Fairfield Mount Pleasant bowling game or bowling meet yesterday. Didn't get a final on that because we had a meeting in Washington, and we don't have the scores for that yet. So I'll get those in the newspaper. Read your newspaper.
Yep.
And then Washington went against Louisa Muscatine last night. Looks like we do have final scores on that.
Yep.
On the girls' side, Washington shorthanded on the girls' side. They only have a couple bowlers, so 24-25 to 520. That seems like a blowout, but again, that's Washington. Literally, if you don't have the 5 bowlers, you get a 0 for that. So, and then on the boys' side here, Washington also went against Louisa Muscatine. And wait, did I do that right? Did I do that wrong? I might have messed up, guys.
No, you're good. I've got the roundup pulled up too. So I mean,
oh no! Wait, what?
I did this on the roundup, so I had it pulled up.
My brain hurts. This says they went against Louisa Muscatine.
They did
last week.
Yeah, that was the bowling roundup.
I thought that was yesterday. Why did I think it was yesterday? Oh, you have the bowling roundup. Oh, Hunter Muller, take it away.
But you were going for it, so I was just gonna let you roll.
I thought that they were. I thought that they had that. I thought they were in Louisa Muscatine yesterday. No, I was wrong. My bad.
I
was wrong.
Wednesday.
But I was right about all that Taylor Swift stuff. Go ahead.
That's so great. The Demon Boys fell to Louisa Muscatine last week. What is the correct way to say it? 2,748 pins.
Yeah,
basically total pins.
That's about 2,748. I was going to go back to wrestling. Go ahead.
2,748 to 2,002 total pins there. Leading the Demon Boys was Caleb Zieglowski with 332 total pins. That was good enough for third. To lead them there. Mount Pleasant was also in action last week. Fairfield Bowling wasn't in action last week, but for Mount Pleasant, same result as Washington, lost in a head-to-head to Keokuk. Obviously, Keokuk kind of been the premier, bowling program, I guess, in the Southeast Conference for quite a while now. The Mount Pleasant boys fell just under 300 pins short to Keokuk, 2,872 to 2,574. Alec Payne and Connor Sizemore were both the highest finishers. Bright spot for Mount Pleasant there. Payne bowled a 488 and Sizemore 416. Mentioned good enough for first and second there. And on the girls' side, they fell to the Chiefs, 2,000 758 pins to 2,215 pins. Addison McGarty was the top bowler there with 294 pins. So kind of a tough week for Washington, but Mount Pleasant bowling last week. But some bright spots there to look forward to.
There was some action last night. The Flamingo Lanes in Fairfield. It was a
I love that
house.
Flamingo
Lanes. No flamingos ran across the lanes that I saw. Anyway, oh man. Well, now you know what? I just realized we're at the saddest part of the show.
What's that?
The show where the part where the show can be no more.
Well, we've got nothing left.
Got nothing left. Well,
we're gonna have plenty more though this week.
That's right. We're gonna go. We'll be in. If anyone's in Washington or Fairfield tonight for a little basketball action, that's where Hunter and I will be. We haven't decided who will be where.
Yep.
Could flip forward after the show.
Yep.
Washington. Oh, I should say because I looked at this earlier. Does Washington play at 6:00? Yes. Washington Demon basketball fans. Your girls basketball team. It's only girls tonight.
Yep.
But it is still at 6:00. That is a spot where you can get messed up because sometimes you assume if there's only one game. That's at 6:00 against West Liberty and Fairfield Trojan basketball fans. You guys will be playing at the normal time, 7:30 against the Pella Dutch.
Ooh.
So I looked at
Tough
that
game
earlier.
there.
So that is a tough game. One of us will be there. So. Then we'll be at some wrestling, some basketball, some bowling. You'll see us. Come say hi. Tell us how much you love Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk. Tell everyone. Share this stream.
Yeah.
That's it. Shout out Matt Tangestall, the only person who comments on our YouTube so far. Playing him in fantasy this week.
There we go. Show Andy a little leeway, a little love.
Yeah, I shouted you out on the show. Maybe bench a couple of your best players. Help me get further in the playoffs. That's it.
Yeah.
Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk. Powered by
Fairway.
Powered by Alex.
Fairway.
Powered by Fairway.
Fairway. We'll see ya.